Star Trek The Next Generation, Brent Spiner.
How are you? So this is Cleveland. What? I arrived and there was a snowstorm happening. Is this how you put the time?
Don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
4 seasons in a day.
Seriously. Fantastic. Great. Welcome. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. What's your name?
My name is Liz.
Liz.
Yes.
Liz and I have been friends for years. You know what? I have so little to say. Well, I could go on forever, but I know the things you want to ask me, maybe. Liz, you had some things you wanted to ask me, or you wanted to say to me, or something.
Yeah. So before, I know we have so many fans. Let me ask my question. I think we all would like to know, because we're at a fan convention, we're so excited. What do you love to geek out over? What is your fandom jam?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Hey, Greg.
I love sleeping. I used to have a sign on my bedroom door when I was a young guy, had roommates in New York, and it said, "To be with oneself in peaceful slumber is perhaps the greatest gift of all." I still believe that.
I agree.
Well, maybe not with yourself, but
Naps are good too. Does that count?
I nap. I try to nap every day. I have napped every day of my life since I was in high school, and
Like power naps, or?
I think you don't want to nap for less than 2 hours. You know, Harry Truman used to say, you know who Harry Truman is?
Yes.
I asked some people at my table the other day, do you know who James Cagney is? And they didn't know. One person said, do you know James Cagney? No. And if you're here, don't be embarrassed, because I'm not going to say your name. Yeah, well. No, I won't. But it just got stunned. I thought, wow. But Harry Truman, once president of the United States, he took a nap every day, and he said that 20 minutes is no longer than 20 minutes is what you should take, and you should always take your trousers off. That's what he said, and he became president. So, yeah. Although someone's going to become president that none of us had any idea that would happen. Maybe not.
Crossing fingers.
Please. Okay.
All right, I know this guy here. You've been here all weekend wanting to see this, so we'll turn it to the fans.
Hey,
Hi.
how you doing? Are you Data?
I tried to. I couldn't get the makeup done as well as they did on.
Well, you got the contacts.
No, I
No, you didn't.
I tried to put in contacts once and they didn't work out for me. So,
You know, I didn't much like mine either, to tell you the truth.
well,
It was the worst part.
Well, yours were yellow and everything.
Mine were yellow.
Honestly, I don't know how the hell you can see through those.
Mine were yellow. They were soft contacts, you know, so that they weren't my prescription, but they were soft. But they hurt, and that was the first thing I had to do in the morning when I'd get there, is put the contacts on, and then Michael Westmore would put my makeup on for me, and about 2-3 minutes into the day, the makeup would get in my eyes and smear across the contacts, so I couldn't see anymore. And we were there generally 16 hours a day. And but the good part about it is it sort of informed the character, because I couldn't see. I was going like this all the time.
That was essentially my main question, though, because I've been wanting to ask this all week, and well, to be honest, I wasn't quite sure I was going to make it because my father had passed away from cancer last Monday.
Sorry.
But my family told me that, you know,
Gotta go on.
that you gotta go on, you gotta enjoy yourself. That's why I came here. I came all weekend, and especially to be able to see you. And I was wondering I know I had seen you on Night Court, Law and Order, didn't intend to say, things like that, but Data was the character that really sold it for me. And I was wondering how you were able to portray from Encounter at Farpoint to the final Next Gen movie in Nemesis, how you were able to portray someone who didn't really show any emotion, but was able to portray that somehow to his fellow crew members up into his ultimate sacrifice in the end when he saved them.
You got a week? Actually, let me tell you, a lot of it is, the writers are who were responsible for that. I mean, they wrote a really great character. They wrote a great arc for the character that lasted for 7 years. Initially, I didn't know, or even beyond 7 years because of the features, but I didn't know what we were going to do with the character. When I first took the part, I thought, is this going to be incredibly limiting? Am I going to be, and we had a director on the 3rd episode of the show who said to me, you are going to hate this character so much by a year, 2 years into it, because you're going to feel so restricted that you can't do anything. And instead, I wound up doing so much. It seemed to be the most limitless character because he was exploring humanity and what it was to be human and to feel and to, experience. They created all kinds of wonderful things for me to do. And what? So it really was, it was just a joy for me as an actor to do what the writers created. And also, I felt there was a kind of a symbiotic experience going on between me and the audience. Because Data said, I have no emotion. And he said it, but nobody really believed it. And I would get letters from people saying, I saw you were really feeling something at that moment. Well, I really wasn't. But the audience felt it for me. And so it became this give and take between me and the audience that was also really wonderful. I hope that sort of...
No, it does. And again, thank you for everything. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, thanks so much for being here. I'm so sorry for your loss, and you're a good guy.
Hi, Brent.
Hey.
I have, like this gentleman, followed you throughout your entire career, probably a little bit more than most people have, and it's one of the ones.
Should I be afraid?
One of the parts of your career that I want to ask about, and it does touch a little bit into Next Generation, and I want to ask you about your musical, all the musical things that you've done in your life, and what of musical productions, anything, recording production, stages, shows, what you felt was the best, and then how did it feel to record Old Yellow Eyes is Back and the track with Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Michael Dorn, and LeVar Burton?
The Sunspots,
Yeah.
they were called. Yeah. Well, I did this CD a few years ago called The Old Yellow Eyes is Back. It was just, it just hit me that I could. I had Dennis McCarthy, who wrote the music for the show, did the arrangements, a lot of the arrangements. A friend of mine, John McKinney, who's a brilliant arranger, did some of them. And I had Wendy Noose, who was post-production supervisor, produced it. And there's this thing that happens between every word. There's a and that's you. It's okay. But do you have a box you can put in a silencer? Anyway, so I don't look any different right now than I did when you were last shooting it. Which one would you like? Let me get this over with. Here, let me do a few, okay? anyway, so we did the CD, and then I asked the guys, Patrick and Jonathan and LeVar and Michael, if they would do background on one number for me. It's a Sin to Tell a Lie. And they came in and recorded it, and just between us, it was terrible. It was unusable. It really was. They don't know, but we had to hire some other singers to come in and, you know, do it over their vocals because it was just terrible. They may not. They're not going to know about this. This is just between us. If you ever see them, please don't tell them. But anyway, so I did that, but I did another CD called Dreamland. Anybody heard that one? Yeah, Dreamland's way better than All Yellow Eyes. It really is. It's Dreamland. I did with again, my friend John McKinney did these arrangements that are fantastic. Dreamland's a story that goes from well, it's a story. We thought of it as a movie of the mind, sort of. It comes off kind of like a radio show because there's dialogue in it, sound effects, but the effects are way more sophisticated than you would hear on a radio show. And it's a story, and we talk and we sing, and I sang with this woman named Maud Maggard, who is a brilliant singer, a real genius. She's Fiona Apple's sister, and she's just one of the great singers today. And then all the other male roles on it were played by Mark Hamill. And I don't know if you've heard of him. He has a little movie that just opened recently. Yeah, you know what though? I do think he is the highest paid actor per second on the screen in the history of motion pictures. But I think the second one we're going to see a lot more of it. Anyway, so I did that. My friend Dave Way, who's one of the great engineers, he's done everybody, he's won Grammys. He and I put it together, and so I'm really proud of that piece, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then I've sung on Broadway a few times. Last time I sung on Broadway was 1776. I played John Adams. That was a great experience. I did 200 performances, and yeah. Wait, you didn't see it?
Well, I'm just imagining you doing 200 performances.
Did 8 shows a week. It was a 3-hour show, and I had 8 numbers in it. And when I wasn't singing, I was debating because it was about the First Continental Congress. And but there's a show now. Has anybody been in New York to see Hamilton? Did you see Hamilton? You can. I know.
I saw something happen instead.
I saw that 60-minute piece on it.
What?
Awesome.
Oh, let me tell you, I saw it between Christmas and New Year's. I don't know how my manager got tickets for me and my family, and I think I had the worst seat in the house, which was, I was really close in the orchestra, but I was all the way to the side, the very furthest part, and so I missed about a third of the stage, and still it was the best show I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. If I go back to New York this year, I will do anything I can to try to see it again, because it's groundbreaking. It's really one of those shows that changes the history of everything, because it's going to live forever. Listen to the CD if you haven't, if you're not going to get to see the show, because it's spectacular.
They just won a Grammy.
Well, they won a Grammy for Best Cat. They're going to win all the Tonys.
Yeah.
The performances are unbelievable. This guy, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote it, is a genius, and he plays Hamilton. And it's educational, too, because it really tells you the story of Alexander Hamilton. It's just fantastic. Anyway, so much for that. Anything else I can tell you?
Unless we have a week to talk, but.
Do I have a week? Thanks.
Toxic Pop has a new Facebook page. Like it to see pictures and keep informed about our upcoming events and videos. A link is in the description. Go to www.facebook.com/toxicpop1.